Absolutely. Nobody asked for this. But for Fun Fact Friday, what's more fun than insect orders? I know, lots of things. But in a previous video, I talked about cicadas and I talked about their order. But like, what's an order? So let's talk about it. First of all, we got to talk about classification because that's really where orders come in. You probably remember in like high school biology, maybe, you learned about like King Philip came over from Germany swiftly as a way to remember the order. So, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species, with kingdom obviously being the most broad classification and species being down to the exact species of the animal. Now, order is above family. So when we're initially talking about classifying insects, order is a good place to start. If you're looking for more specifics, then you start getting into the families, and then obviously genus and species. Well, obviously genus and species is going to be the exact insect that you're talking about. But here's a quick little photo of just a quick overview of the orders. Well, these are not all of them, trust me. But we'll come back to this one because we'll go back to the original like order list, but pictures are like way more fun. So we'll come back to this one. All right, we got our photo. I mean, technically it's a photo. It's not as cool as the ones with the pictures of the insects, of the orders of insects. It's a smidge outdated, but we'll go over what's outdated with it. We got some higher groupings here. Apterygota, which means without wing. Paleoptera, so paleo means old, old wing. The rest of these guys, we're just going to call Neopteras, which is new wings. But starting with Apterygota, these first three are actually technically not insects, but a lot of times people will group them in with insects. These are actually what's called para-insects, so non-insect hexapods. So they have 6 legs, but they do not technically qualify to be insects. But Collembola, you may recognize them by their common name of springtail. Some species are also known as snow fleas because they are found on top of snow, jumping very, very high. Which Why are they on snow? Well, because they have antifreeze properties, which is pretty cool about these collembolas. Because of their antifreeze properties found in their, well, it's hemolymph. Insects don't have blood, but hemolymph is kind of their equivalent of blood. It's just not blood because it doesn't carry oxygen. But they have this antifreeze property in their hemolymph, and it is being used in medical research, specifically in organ transportation, because obviously organs need to be kept at a cool temperature. They can't freeze, and so collembolas are being studied for those properties in order to make organ transportation more efficient. Protura and Dipleura are your bristletails. And then Thysanura is actually our first insect here. So it is a wingless insect. The Thysanuras are your silverfish, sometimes also called firebrats. Now in the Paleoptera, so these are our old friends, our prehistoric friends. There's still 2 orders going strong. Ephemeroptera are mayflies. They're sometimes called fish flies, but this is why common names are confusing, because fish flies can be applied to a lot of species of insects. But these are your mayflies. They have very short lifespans, hence ephemeral. And then underneath that are odonatas, which are dragonflies and damselflies. And the wing Paleoptera and Neoptera just kind of deciphers like how they can rest their wings. Paleoptera can't fold their wings over their body. They have to be either out to the side or up to the top. Neopteras can fold their wings over them. Underneath Odonata is Plecoptera. These are stoneflies. They are found very early in the season, typically swarming a bridge. Here in Michigan, they're typically found in April. They're also a good indicator of water health because their nymphs are very sensitive to water pollution. So if a river is supporting Plecoptera nymphs, then you usually have pretty good water quality. Underneath here are Embiopteras. These are web spinners. These are very hard to find. In all of my time hunting insects, I have not found a web spinner. Oh, I will though. I will find you web spinners. I will find a rotten log that you're in. But they're web spinners. Underneath them are Orthopteras, which are kind of like long leg. These are your grasshoppers, your crickets, and your katydids. Also, tree crickets are grouped under those. Phasmida are your walking sticks. Dermaptera are earwigs. And are they a Neoptera? Yes, earwigs have wings. Do they use them? Not really. They don't like using them. They're kind of clumsy if they do fly. But yeah, earwigs have wings. Zooptera are angel insects, very hard to find. Also, I have yet to find one. Grylloblatodea, so you probably won't see this unless you live on top of a mountain or you live on a glacier. In that case, then yeah, you'll probably see these. These are rock crawlers. This is where it gets a little bit outdated. Dictyoptera it's also known as Blatodea, which are your cockroaches. Isoptera are termites. Isoptera has recently been absorbed under Blatodea because they found through genetic testing that termites are actually a lot closer to cockroaches than they thought. They've essentially thought as termites as social cockroaches. So Isoptera is now under Blatodea. They get a bad rap, but termites are really essential for nutrient recycling in the woods. Hemiptera, these are true bugs. These are cicadas, aphids, assassin bugs, stink bugs, and leafhoppers. Hemiptera is very important in the agricultural world just because of their ability to be plant pests. And on the flip side, assassin bugs are good monitors of those plant pests. So all in good balance. Thysanoptera are little cuties, right? They're little thrips. If you want to find a thrip, they're usually hiding in flowers. I always find them just sitting on flower petals if I do find thrips. After Thysanoptera, we've got Socophora, which are bark lice and book lice. Lice get a bad rap, but book lice and bark lice, well, bark lice specifically, are also important in the woods with recycling nutrients. Anoplura and Malophagia are like your biting and chewing lice. No one really is a fan of these. These are going to be your head lice and your body lice. Coleoptera, so now we're getting into holometabolous, which kind of refers to whole change. In layman's terms, there's a baby, there's an intermediary, and then there's the adult. Our most famous holometabolists are butterflies because you get the caterpillar, then you get the chrysalis, then you get the butterfly. But rounding out our holometabolists are Coleoptera, which are beetles. Beetles are holometabolists, which means that you have baby beetles or larvae, then you have pupa, and then they become full adults. Now, if you've ever seen a baby ladybug or a baby firefly, they look like little worms. They're super cute, but they are just our beetle friends. Underneath Coleoptera, we have Neuroptera, which are going to be your lacewings, your antlions, and your owl flies. Hymenoptera are your bees, wasps, and ants. And then this green screen's all over the place. Underneath Hymenoptera, we've got Lepidoptera, which are butterflies and moths. We have Trichoptera under there, which are caddisflies, which are also sometimes called fish flies. See, again, common names. So confusing. Big difference between Trichopteras, because they do look like moths, is that they have little hairs on their wings, whereas Lepidoptera means scale wing, and so little moths have actually scales on their wings. Underneath Trichoptera, we've got Mecoptera, which are going to be like your scorpion flies. Then we have Siphonoptera, which are going to be fleas, and then Strepsiptera, which are twisted wing parasites. I actually do have a video about Strepsiptera parasites. They are predominantly parasites of the Hymenoptera order, hence that video, it's found inside of a hornet. And then underneath that is Diptera or Diptera, which are your flies. Now, Mecoptera, again, with kind of like the scorpion flies. Here, let me pull up a video or a photo of those. Scorpion fly. See their little tails looking like scorpions? Yeah, that's Mecoptera here. This list is also outdated. So this also left out Megaloptera, which were previously classified under Neuroptera. But let me show you what Megaloptera is. These are your Dobson flies, also sometimes called fish flies because common names are confusing, but they used to be classified under Neuroptera, but they are now in their own order. You know what this list also left out? Mantodea, which are praying mantises. So really cool species. I think they used to be classified as Phasmida, but Mantodea is now its own order. I'm sure you obviously are aware of what a praying mantis looks like though. But yep, those are our Dobson flies. Pretty cool. Now let me go back to the original photo of like the photos of the insects. All right, here's back to the original one. Obviously this is not all of them. But yeah, look at, oh, see, Thysanora, our little silverfish friends here. You see stinkbug is listed as Heteroptera and scale is listed as Homoptera. They are still classified under Hemiptera. These are little suborders, but pause it to read.